Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horror review. Apologies for the strange time of the stream, but let me put a wee bit of a preface. So, at the weekend, I was given a screener copy of this movie to check out. If you've looked at our schedule, I'm a wee bit busy this week, so it was either leave it the weekend and then being like maybe into 2 weeks before watching it and reviewing it, or do it now. So that's what I went with because I didn't want to leave it too long. So we have Dariuss directed by Guerrilla Metropolitana. Is it? Metropolitana? Metropolitana, I believe it is. Right. So this is sort of, how to put it? It's a dark comedy, almost found footage type movie. And yeah, that was absolutely bloody hilarious. I had to say, I had a laugh. It starts off. Basically, the premise of the story is we've got a family suffering from a loss and how they're coping with it, and then an external force sort of comes in and messes with things. When I talk about a family, we're talking about the West family here. You know, it's their creepy and kooky, and uncle, brother, cousin, father, sisters are involved, if that makes sense. So we'll start off, it's all so apparently this guerrilla style of filmmaking is like going to just random locations, taking video and shots. Basically TikTokers, like TikTokers and Instagrammers do when they shoot in the street. I think what have been funny actually if somebody had got across their shot and then was a victim. That would have been hilarious. Oh wow, you're up early. Hi Chris. Time for him. Coffee with Colin reviews, yeah. Time to get up. It's the only time I could fit it in because honestly it was either that or leave it for like a week and a half or something. That's just rude. You know what I mean? I don't do that. So unfortunately just as you know, the weekend was busy. Quite a bit on this week. We've got Alien tomorrow, Helter Skelter on with the Russian Bride tonight. With Alien tomorrow, with Helter Skelter on Wednesday, the Lovely Bones on Thursday, and I think there's something else happening on Friday. And then I've got the weekend. So there's no much, you know what I mean? If I had left it, you're talking into next week, and that's just not on. I was giving it, I try to, if somebody gives me a screener, I try and watch it as soon as possible, give my thoughts on it. But yeah, I had a laugh with this. I'm always wary of movies are like, this will shock you. You will not make it to the end. Because instantly my twisted, sick brain goes, okay then. And I just, I don't think I'm right in the head. Seriously, I think I've got problems. But the thing that just makes this absolutely hilarious is the soundtrack. So there's no dialogue. It's not a story. It's an art piece. So it's imagery and sort of more cerebral, if that makes sense. So you get an impression of what's going on. Interesting. We start off, we see this wee girl is in the woods and all these shots. So I'm guessing that's the loss. But we get a wee bit of a red herring thrown at us at the beginning because it looks like it might be a miscarriage. But that is not the case. So we'll get a wee bit of a red herring, but the first scene kind of ties into the final act, which makes sense. This thing's only an hour long, by the way, so it's not exactly it's not like a film movie, more of a short, more of an extended short, to be honest. This would have worked better as an animation, if I'm perfectly honest. This would have been brilliant actually as a stop motion animation, but like Phil Tippett's Mad God. If they had done that, this would have been fitter. I think the imagery and the soundtrack over the top, and especially the Foley stuff, just if you're meant to be shocked, you can't because you're too busy laughing because it's brilliant. It's just the thing it keeps doing is all the way through it, and I'm just like brilliant. The old flutter tongue, the like brrr, Ian Anderson type stuff. Yeah. There's a dripping water thing throughout this, and I honestly thought this was going to end up in a bathtub with pills and razor blades, but it didn't. I honestly thought that's the direction it was heading the first half of this movie, but yeah, go somewhere completely else, different. Frustrating. I would have liked the story. I would like the story to follow because you're almost seeing a descent into madness here, if that makes sense. And this loving family, it's a loving family that love each other a bit too much, if I can say that on YouTube, like getting people getting freaked out. So there's a bit of that going on, and you can kind of, the hills have eyes type scenario. But yeah, you've got that. So you've got this sort of descent into madness with random sexual imagery thrown in. I'm talking about cheap porn movie recycled shots. If you're a fan of Pornhub and you know when they're doing the recycled shots, like about 3 times in a scene, you're getting that. So maybe it's just me. Am I the right audience for this, or am I the wrong audience? That is the question. Am I that everyone else is like throwing up and I'm just laughing my head off because I'm just going, especially when there's a particular scene where the main character in this is pleasuring herself and the foley over the top's like and that's it. I lost it at that scene, and this is recycled about 3 times, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm out, I'm done, I'm like a busted sofa. I'm just breaking myself. Brilliant. I hope this is meant to be a comedy, by the way. Because if not, I do apologize because I had a lot of fun. I genuinely did. I just had a lot of fun just going, this is this is out there. The thing is, this reminds me of the old 80s video nasties that you weren't meant to see. You had to have a special password behind the rental store. God, there's one in particular. It was like you said Merry Christmas, even if it was like July or something, and they pulled out a Christmas card, and the Christmas card had all the videos, and you went, yeah, that one. You know what I mean? 80s were a fun time. Let's just put it like this. And it was funny that during the strictest of censorship regimes, we had some of the best stuff. Yet today, where a lot of that's lifted, there's just absolutely boring stuff. What I'll say about this, you won't be bored, right? Take it what it is. Just switch your brain off, go along with the ride, and you're going to have a laugh. I wouldn't impose any deep thought over the top of it, if that makes sense. It's very sort of punk, almost trauma type movie, maybe unintentional comedy, but nah, there's certain scenes in this, like there's a bloke in it eating a chalky bar, and yeah, and you're just like, that's it. You know what I mean? That scene tickled me, but it was the self-pleasuring scene just broke me where I just couldn't hold it any longer. I was trying to, I was all up for trying to take it seriously. Oh, right, okay, I'm going to be shot. I'm going to be shot. And then I was, what I mean, about 10 minutes on this, I'm busted sofa. So I've literally just watched it too. So 20 minutes before I went on stream, I'd finished watching it. I'd set up a stream, and then just thought I'd come on straight away, get this. So it didn't leave anyone hanging too long. Interesting. The locations and sort of using the camera shots going back and forward. And the thing is, with the premise, I thought it was going to be like round the streets, almost upskirt type stuff, maybe taking sneaky shots of people but not showing them so they could be identified. I thought it was going to be something like that, but it basically stays within the same, it's a contained movie, so it's not like just going out random. No, man, it stays within the park, the house, and the sort of, there's like an alleyway, path. Yeah, I think they just went for the ridiculous with it. I don't know what else to say because it's cartoon stuff. It's uh honestly think this would have been as an animated, like, and I mean anime, not uh standard animation or stop motion. If it had been made like that, this would have been good. I actually, not, I don't mean good, but I mean better suited because what the problem is here, the imagery and the sound, the soundtrack, they don't, one takes you away from the other. So, for example, if this was done like an ASMR horror, horror concept album type thing, but continuous, right? If you put a beat over that, like a low ray, like electronic beat, and maybe a bit of a pad, over the top of this, and actually made it an hour long music thing, it would be more disturbing without the imagery because you could actually play about and take away this because there's a bit of silliness in this. So if you took away a bit of the silliness and kept some of the like the baby crying and stuff was good at the start, and then it oops, like her, do apologize. Then it got a bit ridiculous. So if that bit got toned down, and like I said, a good beat was put through us, and it was in like an ASMR thing, that'd be creepy as hell. You picture somebody with headphones on and just let your mind, play that and let your mind go away. The thing is, then when you put in the imagery, you you get taken away from the music because this is more of a musical. I would say it's more of a musical piece. It's almost like a really long music video as opposed to a film. So as a musical piece, the imagery doesn't quite work. Especially the recycled shots. When you do the recycled shots, about 3 or 4 times, you lose it. You've lost the shock factor because what was done first, and then it's repeated about 3 or 4 times. You're like, oh shit, okay, right. You've lost the moment. If you're a complete normie, this will freak you out. Put it like this: if you're one of these modern generic horror fans that don't like everything nice and comfortable, you're not going to enjoy this. This is going to mess with your head a bit. My head's already broken, so I'm good in that respect. But yeah, cheers to you for giving me a laugh. This was it was a lot of fun to go through, but I think there's two things going on here, and the two don't marry up. That's what I'm kind of getting the impression of here. This could have been like a disturbing soundtrack in the background. Put the earphones in, lights off, and there's a potential there that this could take your head places because there's no one can show you anything where your head will go. Uh the imagery, less of the recycled stuff, maybe more suggestion in between, and then when you get the shocking images, it would have more impact. There's the self-pleasuring scene kind of went on a bit too long and got a bit silly, and I was wondering if there was fake tan involved because it looked a bit weird. I think it was just the coloration of the camera that looked a bit strange with the it looked as if there was fake tan involved where we knew there wasn't. And I was scratching my head at that bit. And then the sort of end scene went on a bit too long. So it was a good effect, but when it was the camera was going this way, it started off great, but then it went on a bit too long. Then it went to the side, and then you lost, the actual effect that was being shown. I don't want to spoil this because that wouldn't be fair, especially when it's just out. But yeah, that kind of how do I put this? Kind of defeated themselves. By going on that bit too long, the kind of took away the initial shock, and then the effects that were there and the time and effort that went into that. The milk drinking scene, for example, we'd already got the hint. We knew what it was, but then the camera flash coming in to tell you what it was. we already knew. I mean, the movie isn't that long and there's not that much going on. So that told on itself and kind of took you out of the moment. So wee things like that just made me so like I said, I took it as a comedy and I enjoyed it as a comedy. And yeah, I'm a sick and twisted puppy. What can I say? But I had a lot of fun with it. I do appreciate getting this the review. Well done, because obviously this was done off the cuff. This was done like really. I mean, no budget. This is a no budget movie. This was done with anything that came to hand with a kitchen sink. If that makes sense. And it just goes to show as well. It's provoking. You know what I mean? It's meant to be provoking, and that's fine. That's cool. It provoked my laughter, and I'm cool with that. I mean, I had fun. Look at the amount of money being spent on movies today, and they're bland as hell. Like you watch generic Blumhouse horror movie, and you've almost forgotten it by the time you leave the cinema. This is not that. So it'd be interesting to see something. What comes next with I'd like a bit of a storyline. Honestly, that's what I'd like. Just something to follow. And if it's going to be a comedy, make it a comedy. No, just embrace it. That's what I'd say. So I'm taking this as satire because the whole "you will be shocked" blah 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 blah. There's nothing here that hasn't been done before. I used to watch stuff like this all the time. In fact, Channel 4 during the 80s, Friday, Saturday nights, they'd put some strange show on just randomly. They wouldn't get away with it now, obviously, but they used to put some strange stuff on that channel back in the day. And it was similar to this. And it was cool. I used to lap it up. And that was it. Indie directors, art house stuff. I've seen it. It's great. I might suggest there's a guy, Tony Caro. I've had him on the show. He does like really in-depth reviews, and he's a fan of like old school grindhouse cinema. I think he might get something from this. Might suggest that he checks this out if the director's happy enough with that. But there you go. This is quite a short review for a short movie, and obviously because it's a screener, I don't want to spoil it. It's available for purchase in physical copy. Links in the description. So if you fancy checking it out, yeah, not quite Cannibal Holocaust, but fun movie. Yeah, had fun watching it. So there you go. Have you seen this yet? Let me know what you think. All that good stuff. Are you planning to pick it up? Have I put you off? Are you going to watch this, have a laugh, and then get freaked out because I'm a twisted puppy? Yeah, music scores everything. Music, sound effects, everything. It's the two have to work together to tell the same story. When you've got the two working against each other, it's not. But like I said, if this was intended to be a comedy, that's what I took it as, and that's what I had fun with. So there you go. There's my review, short and sweet, just like me. Thanks to Guerrilla Metropolitana for sharing that. That is a tongue twister. That's the most difficult thing. That is a tongue twister of a second name, mate. But thanks for sharing with me. Hope you appreciate the review. If you're planning to pick it up, let me know. If you've watched this, once again, let's have a wee chat in the comments. And just leaves me to say, keep up to date on the channel, do the type of clicky things, and until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.